Facebook thing?
Hi, good afternoon. This is Joyce Barron, another Facebook Live. It's the afternoon of Thursday, August 17th, 2017, and I am giving you an update on my husband, Kenneth Barron, who's an innocent man wrongly incarcerated in the Delaware State Department of Corrections at the Howard R. Young facility. In my earlier updates, I've mentioned that I've been trying very hard for 6 days now to make sure that my husband gets the appropriate standard of care for his condition in the Department of Corrections system. And so far, I've been very unhappy with that. This morning, still had no responses whatsoever, except for a Facebook post from Brian Townsend. I did get a call earlier from Brian after I had talked to John Viola, who is my state House of Representative person, and he's also the majority whip for the state of Delaware. He's also a co-sponsor of House Bill 259, and what House Bill 259 does is go outside of the federal sentencing guidelines for sex offender offenses, called SORNA, S as in Sam, O, R, N as in Nancy, A. And what SORNA does is set a consistent set of sentencing for sex crimes throughout the country so that the same act will have the same punishment, whatever. House Bill 259 just came out of judicial review, meaning that judges looked at it, and not all of them gave it their approval. Some of them have said, judiciously, this is not a law that should be enforced. Kind of like the one in Arizona where they're saying that a parent who basically wipes their baby with a baby wipe to change a diaper is a sex offender because there's the phrase for the purpose of sexual arousal intent is not present in their law. So anyway, House Bill 259 just came out of Judicial Committee, ironically, on the same day that Ken was scheduled for trial this last time and was coerced into accepting this plea. What I believe is that one of the sponsors of the bill is using him kind of as a scapegoat to show that they really need to push through this bill, which is in violation of federal guidelines. I'm not going to let them do that to my husband or anybody who's innocent. That's just not right at all. So I've linked a bunch of articles today on different cases and sentencing in the state of Delaware. John Viola's assistant, Brian Townsend assistant, have finally informed me that my husband, I'm not allowed to take prescriptions to him, and I told him that's not something that I ever asked for. They told me he's getting the appropriate standard of care. Well, I beg to differ. It's been 6 days. His doctors have not been contacted for a list of his medications. He can't remember them, and I haven't been allowed to provide them or his eyeglasses. Apparently there is still problems at Gander Hill today, which is keeping the warden from having enough time to set an appointment for me to just walk up to the guard and drop a pair of glasses off in a baggie. So they've asked me to please be patient. A few minutes later, I did get a call back from Javier, who is one of Governor Carney's assistants, and he basically told me the same thing and said, they're please asking you to be patient. Well, I've kind of been patient so far. I reiterated that I want him on house arrest because they have proven themselves incapable of meeting the basic standard of care for someone with his complex medical condition. They've only given him insulin, and he's on a heck of a lot more medications than that. And he's also not receiving pain management, which to me is cruel and inhuman treatment for anybody who's a chronic pain sufferer. I believe that providing appropriate level of pain management, including access to medical marijuana, if they're an existing card holder, is appropriate and would help reduce the rate of addicts coming out of jail using black market heroin, because the Department of Corrections have been too inhumane to treat their chronic pain. So I'm pushing for that. The other thing that I am now pushing for is I want to have Ken not be forced to be put on the sex offender registry pending an outcome of a full federal investigation of what's going on in the state of Delaware. I believe that's appropriate because under the SORNA guidelines, once he's on there at this level, he can never be removed. So Why should I let him be on there for even a second when he's an innocent man who's been railroaded into these charges? I'm not going to stand for that. I am contacting constitutional attorneys. I have found the top firm in the country, and I've initiated conversations with them. They have obtained not only verdicts in a court trial of over $40 million for defendants who are wrongfully convicted, but they recently obtained the highest settlement offer, which is $20 million, of any defendant who was wrongfully convicted. They have more experience with anyone, any firm in the country as far as wrongful conviction cases. So I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to get them. They do work on contingency, but I am reaching out to other firms at all, trying to get someone who's going to work the hardest to get Ken out. I look a little bit drowsy today. That's because my blood pressure is 176/121. My doctor told me to take medical marijuana and to take Xanax. I'm unable to take my pain medication because it can cause a potentially fatal interaction with the Xanax and make me stop breathing. And I don't need to stop breathing right now. I need to keep breathing, so I've got a voice to keep yelling my husband's innocence from the rooftops. So anyway, just wanted to keep you guys up to date. I have two videos to update on YouTube. We are getting picked up internationally. I have talked to some large media chains today, so looks like we're really starting to turn the screws a little bit. Hopefully we can change the Delaware criminal justice system so that indigent defendants are no longer systematically deprived of their constitutional rights. So peace out and have a good day.